So this song is The Yellow Jacket by Shaun Martin. I actually recently played it in my Jazz Fusion listening video, if you want to check that out. And I do listen to this song, obviously, but I've never worked it out. I've never played it. I've never even really thought about what's going on. I just like it. I just like to listen to it. I chose this because it's got these really fast chord changes, relatively speaking, right off the top. So let's just listen once more. Okay, so even immediately, I'm trying to figure out what is the tonic? What is the tonic? And right now, I don't have perfect pitch, of course, so I can't just figure out what note that is, but I can sing it. I don't know what note I'm singing, but I can sing it. And I'm trying to use anything I can to discern that. A cadence, a melodic movement, whatever it is. I mean, my mind is just going to do it automatically, but to be conscious about it and recognize it, that's the point. So I'm going to play it from the top again and just keep your ear out for what is the resolution note? What's the home note? What's the tonic? Can you sing it? So I'm singing it mentally, thinking about it anyway, audiating. And from there, I'm going to play a random note on the piano because I don't have any clue what this is. So I'm just going to play anything and then basically taking the tonic that I can hear mentally, playing a random note and comparing and saying what scale degree am I playing, back calculating to what the tonic is. So let's just listen one more time. Right? Okay. So we play a random note now. Okay, so to me, that's 4. So as soon as I know I've played a G note and I know that sounds like 4, compared to this, then I know the key is D. Okay, so that's what I'm using to work out the key of a song as fast as I can, basically, to get the specific key. If you want to work on that, you should check out Sonofield, my app. It does exactly that. It's exactly for training this skill. All right, so we know the key is D. Now I'm going to listen off the top and try to get that melody. There's a soprano line on each of the chords that's being played there. Just listen again. So same process now. I have the tonic in mind and I'm imagining those scale degrees. And from there, I know now I'm going to look for or listen for chord numbers underneath. So it's something like 1, first inversion 1, 4. So I'm looking at the melody too, right? I remember I got the melody from before. So that's guiding my voicings right now. Then this is like a 2/5 of 6 is what I hear it. It's not quite, he's not playing quite that voicing, but close enough for now. Yeah, let's hear it again. The bass notes come in. So with the bass notes, it's much easier because I can hear the degree of each bass note, and that, again, like I said earlier, is about narrowing down possibilities. So when that 2/5 comes around, I don't even hear it individually as a 2 and a 5. It to me sounds like a chunk, a 2-5-1 in a minor key, and that minor key sounds like 6 of the key I'm in. So if I'm in D, it's B. So I'm not always correct about that. I should say that. I definitely make mistakes all the time. But that was my sense, and I lucked out in that case. It is that. And this to what was it? Yeah. And then it does this thing at the end. as things go by, you're trying to narrow down possibilities as quickly as possible by using anything you recognize, any landmarks that can say, it's not all this stuff, it's somewhere in here. And then you find another one, you say, okay, now that, gets rid of all these possibilities, it's somewhere in here. So that's it. That's it. So this is a song from a video game called Genshin Impact. I don't actually play the game, but I love the soundtrack. It's gorgeous. It's this sort of orchestral, jazzy influenced, Eastern influenced blend. Really is nice stuff. So here's the first little bit. Okay, so what's the tonic? What's the tonic? What's the tonic, right? That's the question. Back to the top. Here. Has that tonic feeling, right? As soon as the song starts, where is it? Where is it? There. So once I have that note, I don't know what pitch that is. I'll play a random note. We'll do a black key this time. So this is natural 7 going up to the A. So I know it's A minor then. Same process, heard tonic, play a random note. Sounds like 7, must be A. So then, if I know it's A, then I can play the melody. Pentatonic thing. So let's get into the harmony then. So I'm listening for a combination of bass notes. They're not in the bass register right now, but the lowest note in the voicing. Perhaps it's not the root of the chord. It may not be, but I'm still listening for it. And just listening for the feelings of each chord so that I can try to recognize the number, because I've done that work ahead of time over the past however many years of internalizing what each number feels like in a key, basically. So to me, it sounds like, if we're in the key of A minor, that's flat 6. Flat 3. It's different, right? So, must be roughly. Sounds to me like 5 suspended. That's what I hear there. Okay, so let's get into the part with the strings here. I'm actually going to put my headphones on. Roughly. Okay, that sound, that's one that was not part of my vocabulary until the last couple of years, and I kept hearing it in places and saying, what is that? What is that? What is that? I love that sound. And so now I've listened to it enough and worked it out in other songs enough times that we'll see if I'm right, that I think I recognize it. This one I'm thinking is a 2 chord in a minor key, but it's a minor 9. When the interesting thing about that is that it has the major third of the key in it, as in A minor should have a C in it, but if you played a 2 minor 9, you'd have C sharp. And I think that's what this is. Let me just listen back. Let's get more context. Right? Don't know what the exact voicing was, but so it's more like a B9 sus, whatever, no third. But the third is implied because of the key that we've been in, because of what the melody's doing. So altogether you get that sound. But anyway, good work, brain. That's the one. That's the one I've been trying to learn. So that's a relatively new thing for me, but it really sticks out because of this C sharp is in it. Let's just listen a sec. Do you hear the note? Right? Ooh, so good. So good. Nice, right? Love that. So that, I know that it's a chromatic movement in the bass. I can hear, but the chords I'm not 100% certain on, especially that middle one is really fast. Right? Oh, I get that. It's the dominant face, altered dominant face. So to me, that sounds like, something like this. So maybe like, I think that's close. It's close enough for me. We could keep going with this track, but let's just move on to the next one. I think we kind of get the point here. Okay, this track is called Star by Heize. I hope that's how you say it. This is a K-pop artist, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, K-pop artist. I've got a few tracks from her, actually, and they're all sort of nice and complex, jazzy, interesting stuff. So let's just listen to it a bit.
혹시 저 별도 나를 보고 있을까? 아니 날 보고 있지 않을까? 저 별도 나를 보고 있을까? 아니 날 지금 날 찾고 있진 않을까? 아니 날 피해가고 있을까? 아니 날
So let's go from the top.
혹시 저 별도 나를 보고 있을까? 아니 날 보고 있지.
So anyone that's sort of played jazz before or listened to it to any degree with any theory knowledge will probably recognize that, it's a 2-5-1 sound. So again, that's heard to me as like a block, and all that really matters to me is the resolution in this case, like which note the 2-5 resolves to.
혹시 저 별도 나를 보고 있을까? 아니 날 보고 있지 않을.
So now, same thing. I don't know for sure that this is the one of the whole song, but that's what I'm going to work with for now. We're going to say this is the tonic. So we're going to play some note. So we know this is the 5, then this must be 1. Same process as before. Check out Sonofield. Anyway, so that tells me that we've got 2-5-1 in D. So E minor 7, something maybe it's got a 9. We'll put the 9 in it because we're hip like that. A13, and then D major 9. And then that's the 6th chord. So it's not hard to hear. It's just the regular diatonic chords of the key. They're just extended. That time does the 2-5, but then it goes to what? Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, it goes to the 6th chord. It just doesn't have the 9 in it. Oh, maybe it doesn't even have the 3rd in it. Yeah, right, suspended like this. Has the 9 but no 3rds. Doom. So doom. Right, so that bass note has this like, ooh, what is that? It's got this kooky vibe to it. For me, sharp 4 has that like ooh, kooky kind of tilt your head a little bit thing going on. So right, sharp 4 on the bass, that tells me this is probably a 2 dominant chord. That's the most common thing. I mean, since, Baroque times, this has been happening. 2 dominant, first inversion, that sort of movement, or minor 7 flat 5, jazzy sort of thing. But when sharp 4 is in the bass, it's very, very common that that's going to happen. How do I know? Analyzed a lot of songs. I recognize sharp 4 in the bass, then the theory comes in and says, oh, you know what happens when sharp 4 is in the bass. Narrow the possibility space, make a guess, maybe it's right. 2, 5. It's that same thing. The 6 suspended. This bass line's dropping. There's this thing again. Oh, maybe it's minor 7 flat 5 this time. Yeah. So it was. So there it is. We had the sharp 4 with the, dominant E chord, and then right afterwards we had it with the minor 7 flat 5. Unless I'm tripping and I'm getting it wrong, it's also totally possible, but it's roughly that. us back to the 2 chord again. So we were just sitting on, the major third of the 2, G sharp in this case, and then all of a sudden we hear like this. Also very common to hear a 2 dominant chord, quality change to 2 minor, and then probably go to 5.
Yeah.
Not in this case. So that's 2-5 of 6, because you can hear that same 2-5 motion again. And it's going towards a minor key because it's a minor 7 flat 5 chord. This sound, this sort of bitter.
Yeah.
That, right? It's kind of a bitter sound with the flat 5 in it.
Yeah.
So in this case, since the target is B, it's the 6th chord of the key, then this has happened in the other song too. Then it's got to be this going to, I can't remember what the extensions were on this, but it's probably more like this. And then all that is telling our ear this is going towards this note, and it's going to be minor, because the notes that make up those voicings, they outline the minor key of the destination, which is B in this case. However, right, it goes major. So that's kind of interesting. And this happens all the time in this type of music and it happens in jazz actually all the time too, like traditional jazz, where you imply a minor resolution through a minor 2-5, and then the last minute go major instead. And vice versa also happens. Anyway, that's it. I didn't do the melody on this one, like I said, because I don't think we need to cover that anymore, but there's some interesting harmony stuff in there. So hopefully you found it interesting too. If you haven't seen my other video on ear training I just released, you should check it out, called The Perfect Ear Training Routine, if you want to work on some of this stuff. Otherwise, check out Sonofield. And yeah, thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon.